if you want to create a training split that emphasizes your male dimorphism, then you cannot have a 50-50 distribution of upper body and lower body volume. The reason for this is because males generally have greater relative mass in their upper body, whereas females have greater relative body mass in their lower bodies. Therefore, when you're training, it makes sense for you as a male to be doing more upper body volume than lower body volume to accentuate this difference in body mass distribution to make yourself look more masculine. Likewise, it makes sense for females to focus more on their lower body and sometimes neglect their upper body, again, to accentuate that difference in body mass distribution. And that's what's going to create the best dimorphism, and that's what's going to make your physique look the best, right? And people, mainly gym cells, talk a lot about needing to train legs, and they love squatting and deadlifting. But when you focus so much on the squats and deadlifts, it just really throws off your proportions. I got some examples to prove it as well. But generally, right, if you're a male, you should be focusing way more on upper body. And honestly, if you want to skip your legs and skip lower body, or just have really low volume and train once a week, that should be totally fine as well. So I just got a few examples of prioritizing upper body versus over lower body. So in the bodybuilding space, like maybe if you know about this, there's the concept of the V taper versus the X frame. The V taper is like the golden era 70s bodybuilding physique, where you have the V-shaped upper body, but then the lower body comes straight down in a line. So you can see that their quads, they intentionally kept their quads small so that it stays in line with their hips, right? The sweep of the quad stays in line with the hips, and that creates a Y shape in the upper body. On the other hand, in modern bodybuilding, there is the X frame, where again, you have the V-shaped upper body, but when it comes to the lower body, you just try to get as big as possible with as big adductors and quads as possible. And when you do that, right, you can see that kind of throws off the proportion. And instead of having this Y-shaped body, you have this X-shaped body. And naturally, when you have a wider lower body, again, it's all about proportions. When you have a wider lower body from having these huge quads, it's going to make your upper body look more narrow proportionally, even though in terms of absolute measurement, you might be bigger. And this is just another side-by-side comparison of the old school bodybuilding, where you have the quads that stay in line with the hips and the quads that you can see sweep outwards greatly from the hips. And you can kind of see, right, you want your physique to look a lot more like this. And that's why it makes so much sense to prioritize your upper body greatly over your lower body. So how can we actually do this? And by the way, in the link in the description, I have my Black Pill Fitness private Discord server that you can join if you are interested as well. Well, really, when it comes to making your training split, it's all about frequency. You want to have more frequency for your upper body than your lower body. And if you were to train them in the same workout, like a full body split, then you want to do your upper body training first. And also, second to frequency, you want to do more training volume and more exercises for your upper body. So it's actually pretty simple, right? So there's a few splits you can try. Firstly, the push-pull legs is not that good, right? You might think that, oh, for push-pull legs, I'm doing 2 upper body workouts for every lower body workouts. So that's, prioritizing the upper body, right? But really, when you do push-pull legs, even though you're training 6 days a week, you're still getting 2 times a week training frequency. So really, push-pull legs is kind of like a worse version of upper-lower. Instead, right, you got to remember that frequency is king. So example training splits could be, let's say you have 3 days to train, right? You do 1 upper body, 1 lower body, and 1 upper body like this. Or you just have 3 upper body days and you have 1, maybe 2 lower body days sprinkled in as well. Or, this is my personal favorite, is full body, where you have 3 full body days in a week. But in each full body day, you can do like, let's say, 6 to 8 exercises for your upper body. And for your lower body, maybe you do 2 exercises with like 1 set each. And another 3-day training split is 2 upper body days and 1 full body day. Again, prioritizing the upper body in that day as well. And that's kind of like this split, but you just have the lower body day attached after the 3rd upper body day. So yeah, you can just mix and match and find your training split. But most important thing is you want to have more frequency for your upper body then you do your lower body and create that difference. And also, as a closing note, when it comes to training legs, the best muscles you should be training in your legs is actually going to be your hamstrings. Because when you train your hamstrings, you can train your hamstrings and have huge hamstrings, but it's never going to sweep outwards from the side. And when you look at someone from the side, like a side-on view, oh, my drawing's really terrible. Side-on view, right? And he has his legs out. You can see he has huge hamstrings from the side, like that. But from the front, it's gonna look like this because it doesn't sweep outwards, right? The worst muscle is actually the quads, because in particular, when you train the quads can sweep outwards like this. And to a certain extent, you should be careful of the adductors as well. The glutes, you can train the glutes, but again, if you train your glutes too much, it might look a bit gay. Yeah, yeah, but hamstrings and calves, these two, you can basically train them as much as you want. And if you get them really big, you can still have huge legs like this, but from the front, it's still going to look proportional as well. Again, Black Pill Fitness Discord server, link in the description. Check it out.